Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds. Thank God it's Friday. And on that note, the white smoke bellowed out of the Sistine Chapel yesterday. We know who our Pope is. Turns out he's a Bears and a Cubs fan. Is that right?
No, not quite. Bears fan, yes, because they have only the one football team. But they went to the Pope's brother. The Pope is, of course, an American-born, first ever, Robert Francis Prevost. He's of French and Italian descent. Born and raised in the Roseland section of Chicago, which is on the south side. The south side traditionally are White Sox fans. North side are Cubs fans. It's quite a division in Chicago. But the fact of the matter is they went to his brother yesterday. He has two brothers. And they said, Cubs or White Sox? And he said, where did the Cubs ever come into this mix? We're White Sox people. So what's really interesting is his mom and his brothers and the Pope himself were fans of the White Sox. Papa is a Cardinals fan. Where does this work?
Living in Chicago?
Uh-huh.
Oh, man, that guy must have been tough if you're dealing with that. Woo, that'd be tough. I don't know. It's funny how it does work in the South-North when you're there. Again, I'm not a Cardinals fan, but Wrigleyville is one of the most beautiful spots of that city, in my opinion. I think it's gorgeous. In the South Side, not so much, but that's interesting to say. Either way, White Sox not doing so great. Another team not doing so great. It's the Pirates, and it looks like they're making some changes.
Put it this way: the White Sox will need the Pope's blessing, as bad as they are.
Maybe they should be praying that he's a Pirates fan instead.
Well, the Pirates are not a whole lot better, if they are any better at all. They're really weak. And Derek Shelton had been, we put it in the past tense because he was let go yesterday. Derek Shelton had been their manager for 6 years and never been really able to get the team turned around. They thought this year might be it, with a star pitcher, a pretty good staff, and a team that's young and aggressive, but they have not played aggressive baseball at all. They were very slovenly in their 3-game losing streak to the Cardinals earlier this week. So Derek Shelton has been let go after 6 years. Tried to turn things around, couldn't do it. Don Kelly, who had been the bench coach, will take over as interim in Pittsburgh. I don't think it's going to help him a whole lot, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, managerial change for the Pirates.
Think it's a ownership issue?
Partially that, because they haven't spent a whole lot of money on getting anybody
That's what I'm thinking.
Of any consequence in there. So, yeah, in a sense, it's ownership, but they've had some good teams in the past and just simply never able to really right the ship. They've had great years, but not in consecutive fashion.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Kind of starting to feel like we're watching Major League. Is Drury Baseball still alive in their league tournament?
They are. Yesterday, the Drury Panthers, who are playing out of the losers bracket, played the number 1 seed in the tournament, Lewis University out of Romeoville, Illinois, which is in the Chicago area. And they're the number 1 seed, and they're playing out of the losers bracket. So this was a loser go home, and Drury was not the loser. They knocked off Lewis 4-3 in 11 innings late last night, very late. The whole tournament was backlogged because of weather. But anyway, Drury wins 4-3, and Drury gets to play again later today against the winner of an earlier game, and I think they'll have pretty good weather over there now. But the fact is that the Drury Panthers are still alive.
The Cardinals are away this weekend?
They are indeed. They're in the nation's capital to play after they're on a 5-game winning streak,
oh, yeah.
and those games have all been won at home, 2 over the Mets, 3 over the Pirates. Hey, that everything helps. Cardinals take on a very weak Washington Nationals team this weekend, tonight, tomorrow, and then Sunday. And Washington 17-21 on the year, and they've had spurts of playing well, but they really aren't very well constructed. Eric Fetty is going to get the start for the Cardinals tonight. Mitchell Parker will go for the Washington Nationals. So the Cardinals back on the road at the National Stadium in Washington to play the Washington Nationals.
And the Kansas City Royals took that series big time from the White Sox. They're at home to face off a different color pair of Sox this weekend.
It will be the other Sox. This time it's the Red Sox who come in. The Royals won big over the White Sox 10-0 yesterday. Bobby Witt 4 for 5. This guy's just a hitting machine. Salvador Perez 2 for 4 with a trio of RBIs, and Chris Bubich got the win. The poor White Sox, they were the losingest team in history last year. the Pope really needs to give his blessings to this team because they are a little bit better, but not all that much. So it's the Royals and the Boston Red Sox. Now, the Springfield Cardinals played a doubleheader last night down in Little Rock, brought about by an earlier rainout this week, and the Springbirds won both games, 8-2 and 5-1 over the Trabs. So they will play again tonight and tomorrow and Sunday before coming home to take on, I believe, the Amarillo Sod Poodles coming in. So some pretty good baseball coming up in the Ozarks.
Yes, sir. And as far as the Missouri State Bears, where are they at this weekend?
They are home for the final time this season this weekend. Home series with Indiana State. And these are critical ball games, as will be the ones next weekend when the Bears go over to Murray, Kentucky. Indiana State's good. The Bears have the lead, but it's only by one game in the Missouri Valley Conference. The top two teams in the Valley at the end of the regular season get a bye in the first round of the conference tournament, which is coming up 2 weekends from now in Normal, Illinois. The two games, so first or second, that's just a matter of ego right there. They both get byes, so you want to finish one or the other. And the Bears really need to get a couple of wins in this series with Indiana State. 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3 would be ideal.
Ned, you have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend, and I will see you on Monday.